everyone, welcome back to GK Today. I'm Nuzhat Sana and in this video I'll discuss today's top current and static general studies questions for UPSC Prelims Examination 2022 onwards. And these questions are framed keeping in view both the factual as well as analytical aspects of UPSC Prelims exam. Also, I would like to inform you that these questions are part of GK Today's UPSC Prelims test series, which is available in GK Today Android app. And the test series for 2022 Prelims examination comprises total of 7500 questions, divided 2500 questions on current general studies and 5000 questions on static general studies. And the series has started from May 2021 and it will end with UPSC Prelims Examinations 2022. So if you wish to access all questions of GK Today UPSC Prelims test series, you may subscribe the test series in the app. So now without wasting any further time, let's get started.
So today this is our 22nd lecture and now let's start. Question number 1. Which of the following reports are released by World Bank? So we have to identify which among the following reports are released by World Bank. Okay. First is World Economic Situation and Prospects. Actually this is a report from United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs and United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, along with 5 United Nations regional commissions. Now it was in news because recently it has been released and the report said that global economy shrank by 4.3%. Also it stated that India's economic growth is forecasted to be 7.3% in 2021, which is the fastest growing major economy, with only China with 7.2% projected growth rate in the year 2021. I'm talking about UNCTAD. It was established in the year 1964 to promote development-friendly integration of developing countries into the world economy, and it is a permanent intergovernmental body. Headquarters lies in Geneva, Switzerland. And some of the reports published by UNCTAD are: first is Trade and Development Report, second is World Investment Report, then third is Information and Economy Report, fourth is Least Developed Countries Report, fifth is Technology and Innovation Report, and one more is there, Commodities and Development Report. Fine. So these are some of the reports that are published by UNCTAD. Now second is World Development Report. Yes, this is released by World Bank and the 2021 report was published on the theme of Data for Better Lives. So basically it provides a blueprint on how to harness the power of data for development to ensure that no one is left behind. Let's see some of the recommendations of this particular report. First is new social contract for data. Then increase data use to realize values. Third is there should be an equitable access to the data values. Then protect the people from data misuse. And last is integrated national data system. Means we should increase the investment in physical and human capital to have an integrated system of data. So yes, this is right. And third is World Economic Outlook. World Economic Outlook is released by International Monetary Fund, which also releases the Global Financial Stability Report. Now the latest edition of this report has been released and it has projected financial year 2021 growth forecast for India to 12.5% from 11.5% earlier estimated in the month of January 2021. Also, it has said that growth rate for India in 2021 is stronger than that of China. So these two are wrong and correct answer becomes only 2. Now second question, with reference to the various instruments on board the Perseverance mission of NASA to Mars, which of the following are correct matches? Actually, the Perseverance mission of NASA is now the most advanced astrobiology laboratory sent to another planet, and the mission seeks to look for ancient microbial life on the planet Mars. So on board this Perseverance, the NASA had deployed various instruments, and we have to identify whether these instruments that are written here have been linked to its correct pair or not. Means, what are the main job of these instruments, okay? First is MOXIE, to produce oxygen from the Martian carbon dioxide atmosphere. Everything apart, let's understand what is MOXIE. First of all, it stands for Mars Oxygen In Situ Resource Utilization Experiment. Now why it was in news? Because the Perseverance rover of Mars 2020 mission of NASA has recently converted carbon dioxide into oxygen, and this was the very first time this has been achieved in another planet, and it was made possible by MOXIE. And it is an instrument placed in the front side of rover. This MOXIE is also called as mechanical tree because it uses electricity and chemistry to split carbon molecules into C and O, and carbon monoxide is produced as a byproduct in this process. Hence, the experiment succeeded in artificially producing oxygen for carbon dioxide in the Martian atmosphere. Talking about some of its features, it is capable of generating 10 grams of oxygen in 1 hour. Also, it was covered with gold coating so that the heat radiated does not harm the rover. And according to the scientist, 110 version of MOXIE is capable of producing 25 tons of oxygen. Okay, so yes, this is right. MOXIE has been made for this work only. Second is SHERLOC, fine scale detection of minerals, organic molecules and potential biosignatures. First of all, what does SHERLOC stands for? It is scanning habitable environments with Raman and luminescence for organics and chemicals. So this is the first UV Raman spectrometer to fly on the Martian surface that will provide fine scale imaging and uses the UV laser to map mineral and organic compounds. So yes, this is also correct. And third is MEDA, to measure weather and monitor dust with sensors from the surface of Mars. MEDA stands for Mars Environmental Dynamics Analyzer, and this is a kind of weather instrument that measures weather including wind speed and direction, temperature and humidity, and also it measures the amount and size of dust particles in the Martian atmosphere. The main job of this particular instrument is to measure weather and monitor the dust with sensors from the surface of Mars. So this is also correct, and right answer becomes all 1, 2 and 3. Now there were some more instruments on this Perseverance. Let's see some of them, but I have to make some space for it. First is RIMFAX. What is this? Radar imaging for MARIE subsurface experiment. So this actually provides high resolution mapping and look for subsurface water on Mars. Then second is Mars helicopter. This is another instrument on this Perseverance. And third is MASTCAM-Z. It is a type of advanced camera system. And last is PIXL, that is planetary instrument for X-ray lithochemistry, and it is a kind of X-ray fluorescent spectrometer. Okay, so these are some of the instruments which are fitted in Perseverance that has been sent to planet Mars. I'm talking about Mars. It is second smallest planet in the solar system, and it has 2 moons. First is Phobos and second is Deimos. Also from India, Mangalyaan, or you can say the MOB mission, is quite famous, which stands for Mars Orbiter Mission. It was launched from Satish Dhawan Space Center in Andhra Pradesh by ISRO in the year 2013. On board a PSLV C-25 rocket with aim of studying Martian surface and mineral compounds as well as scan its atmosphere for methane. Fine. Now next question, what benefits are provided by the hydrogels such as Pusa hydrogel to agriculture? First of all, what is hydrogel? So these are also called as super absorbent polymer, and they have high capacity to absorb large quantities of water without dissolving in water. Similarly, Pusa hydrogel is a polymer-based biodegradable gel developed by Indian Agricultural Research Institute, and this has a high absorbency even at high temperatures, and it can absorb at least 350 times its weight of water at temperatures up to 50 degrees Celsius. So this makes it suitable for use even in arid regions. Now what are the benefits of using hydrogel? First of all, it can help enhance nutrient absorption by crops while improving the soil's properties like stability, porosity and conductivity. Secondly, it can help in cultivation of cereals, pulses, vegetables, etc. and it reduces requirement of fertilizers. Also in areas with limited availability of water, its efficiency is not impacted by salts in the soil. Fine. Now let's see the options. First is judicious use of water in arid regions. Yes, I have just told you that the places which have limited availability of water, we can use it there. It is correct. Second is it enhances the nutrient absorption by soil. It is also correct. Third is reduction in requirement of fertilizers. Yes, we can reduce the quantity of fertilizer then. It is also correct. Last is formation of new soil. No, this is not correct. We cannot create new soil by using hydrogels. Okay. So correct answer becomes only 1, 2 and 3. Now as I have told you that hydrogels are also known as super absorbent polymer. What do you mean by this? Actually this type of polymer is used in agriculture and it is made of acrylic acids and cross-linking agent like potassium, bisolution or suspension polymerization so that they can freely release 95% of water under suction pressure by plant roots. Fine. Now last question. In context of RBI, which of the following is closest to the meaning of Operation Twist? Basically, we have to understand what is Operation Twist. Actually, Operation Twist is simultaneous sale and purchase of government securities by RBI. Why? For bringing down the interest rates, and hence the RBI sells short-term securities while it buys long-term securities under this operation to reduce the interest rate. Okay. So this was first appeared in the year 1961 as a way to strengthen the US dollar and stimulate cash flow in the economy. And the benefits to use Operation Twist is the simultaneous purchase and sale will bring down interest on long-term loans while it can lead to increase in economic spending. So the action of Operation Twist by RBI is to encourage the market, and this step may become a driving factor for long-term economic activities and addition of new investment stock. So here correct answer is option number B. Now let's see some of the terms. First of all, what is repo or repurchasing option? This is actually an agreement to repurchase the securities at rates which are specified by RBI. And this rate is called repo rate. And this option is used by the commercial banks to borrow short-term loans from the RBI against government securities. Okay. Then what is OMO? That is open market operation. It is a kind of RBI operation to adjust the liquidity of currency in the market through sale or purchase of government securities in the market. So this is one of the quantitative monetary policy tool of the RBI. Now third is, what is GSAP, or you can say Government Securities Acquisition Program. It is a part of RBI's open market operation, and in this program RBI commits to open market purchase of a specific amount of G-Sect upfront, and this is used to reduce volatility in the G-Sect market. Okay, so these are some of the terms related to RBI. So that's it for today. I hope you have liked this session. If you want to give any review, feedback or suggestion regarding these lectures, you can tell us in the comment section. Definitely we'll try to implement that. And now we'll meet again tomorrow with 5 more new and interesting questions. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe to GK Today. With this, me Nuzhat Sana signing off.